roll number, and email ID is an alternate key. In this table, but since student ID is a primary key, roll number and email ID can become the alternate key. Now, candidate key. Candidate key is a set of attributes that uniquely identify the tuples in a table. Candidate key is a super key with no repeated attributes. The primary key should be selected from the candidate key. Every table must have at least one candidate key. A table can have multiple candidate key, but only a single primary key. In this table, student ID, roll number, and emails and are a candidate key, which help us to uniquely identify the table record in the table.
Next one is foreign key.
Yes, ma'am. Foreign key. Foreign key is a column that create a relationship between two tables. The purpose of foreign key is to maintain the data integrity and allow navigation between the two different instances of an entity. It acts as a cross-reference between two tables as it is and as it reference the primary key of another table. In this example, in this DBMS, we have two tables, tech and department in a school. However, there is no way to see uh, which search in which department. So in this table, by adding foreign key in depth code to to the teacher name, we can create a relationship between two tables. So this concept is also known as referential integrity. Now, compound key. Compound key has two or more attributes that allow you to uniquely organize a specific record. It is possible that each column may not be unique, but itself with the database. The purpose of compound key is a database. In database is uniquely identified each record in a table. In this example, order number and product ID can be a primary key as it does not uniquely identify a record. However, a compound key of order ID, product ID can be used as it uniquely identify each record. Now, composite key. Composite key is a combination of two or more columns that uniquely identify rows in a table. The combination of a column grants uniqueness. Through individual uniqueness is not a guaranteed. Hence, they are combined to uniquely identify record in a table. The difference between compound and composite key is that any part of compound key can be a foreign key, but composite key may or may not be a part of foreign key. From, from the table, we found that no attribute is available that alone can identify a record in a table and can become a primary key. However, the combination of some attributes can form a key and can identify the tuple in a table. In the above example, cost ID and product code can together form a primary key because they alone are not able to identify a tuple, but together can do so. Hello, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I am impressed that you have studied well. Deepika, have you understood all the examples?
Yes, ma'am. Almost. I read yesterday only. Almost I
Good.
understood.
This is the effect because what I heard that you mentioned about referential integrity also, which is a good thing. Though I have not taught it till now, but since you are doing self-study, so you must have seen somewhere the concept of
yes.
referential integrity that I want from each and every student. Now, before discussing something, let me start today's topic. I am muting all.
Ma'am, can I unmute?
Yes. Yes. Who want to ask question?
Ma'am, I'm Rohan.
Yes, Rohan.
ম্যাম এই যে কম্পোজিট কি আছে না, কম্পোজিট কি কয়েকটা জায়গায় দেখছি যে মানে এমন একটা টেবিল নিয়ে তৈরি হবে যেগুলো একটাও ক্যান্ডিডেট কি নয়, আবার এক একটা ওয়েবসাইটে দেখছি যে মানে সরি
You
ক্যান্ডিডেট
take one example, proper example. I will request everyone to take what you do. You after class is over, you discuss among yourself. All of you will read examples of composite key and what super key. What you said?
নো ম্যাম, আমার কম্পোজিট কিটা নিয়ে মানে
Composite key. So everyone will study about composite key. Now we will discuss. That will be a doubt clearing session on keys. Okay. So
Okay.
I am muting everyone. Stay muted. I will explain one new topic and then we will proceed. I think my screen is visible to you all. If you face any problem, please raise your hand so that I can unmute. But let me explain the topic first. Only then I will unmute you all. So again, today we will learn about DBMS languages. DBMS languages, what is the use of DBMS language? We use DBMS language to read, to update, and store data in a database. That means for reading, for updation, and for storage, DBMS languages are used. Now, there are several such languages that can be used for this purpose. Several DBMS languages exist, but our focus is on structured query language. It is also known as SQL. In short, it is known as SQL. So let us first look about what are the different types of languages that are available. It is DBMS language. We will write about this is DBMS language. Under this DBMS language, there is a classification. How they are classified? They are classified as different types. DDL. What is DDL? DDL is data definition language. So this is the full form of DDL, data definition language. Next one is what is second one? Second one is DCL. What is DCL? We term is as data control language. Then there is another type that is called DML. DML, and another is TCL. TCL is transaction control language. So these are the broad classification of DBMS language: DDL, DCL, DML, and TCL. TCL is transaction control language. These are the classification. Now let us look into all of them one by one. First, we will learn about data definition language. We term it as DDL. DDL it is used for, let me write first the usage. What is the usage of DDL? DDL is used for specifying the database schema. Specifying the database schema. It is used for creating tables, schemas, indexes, constraint, etc. So we can say that it is, again I am repeating, it is used for creation of table, schema, indexes, constraints. Constraints means different type of constraints can occur, like you can give at the time of table creation, you can give that the value of roll number is of integer data type, and the constraint is as the value is always greater than 0. 0 is also a number, 0 is also an integer number, but you want to put a constraint on the field roll number that it cannot take value which is equal to 0. It must be, roll number must be greater than 0 if we consider that roll number is a numeric field. Now we will write it in terms of SQL. So how to write that? To create database. How to create database? We use create command. Create table command is used for creation of database. Now suppose the database is created, but it is required to add one more column or one more attribute. How it can be done? So we say that the table definition or the table structure have to be altered. So to alter the structure of database, how we alter the structure of database? We use alter command. Alter table, table name. There's a syntax where the alter command is used to alter the structure of the database. Suppose the database is prepared and after the project is over or the software is delivered, it is needed to delete that database. So how to delete the database? To drop database instances. How do we drop database instances? We use drop command. Okay. Now there are two types of deletion. The drop command will permanently drop the records of the table as well as the structure of table from the database. However, if we want to delete tables in a database instance. How we will do that? To delete tables in database instance. How it is done? Here the command used is truncate. So the truncate command is used to delete table in database instance. DDL has some more utilities to rename database instances. Here the database instances can be renamed by using rename command. Yeah. So this is the way how the database is renamed. Suppose the database is named incorrectly, to rename it, rename command is used. Next is to drop objects from database such as tables. What we do? We use drop command. There's a difference between the drop command, which is used to drop database instances, and this drop is used to drop object from databases such as table. All of these command either defines or update the database schema. That is why they come under data definition language. Sorry. Let us write next about data manipulation language. This is second type, data manipulation language. In short, we call it as DML. What is DML? We can say that DML is used for accessing and manipulating data in a database. That means by using DML, data can be accessed and manipulated. So data accession and manipulation can be done with the help of DBMS. What are the different operations on database that comes under DML? Let us look into those operations. To read records from table or tables. What we use, how to read record from table? We use select command to read records from table, which is a data manipulation language. How to insert record in a table? To insert, insertion of record is called manipulation of records. To insert records into the table, how to, which command is used to insert? We use insert command to insert record into a table. Now the next is update the data in table. How to update the data in table? We use update command. Update command means suppose an employee has given his residential address at the time of joining. After some time, the address gets changed. So now the data needs to be updated in that row. So we use update command. Next one is delete all the records. Delete all the records. How to delete all the records from the table? All the records are deleted with the help of delete command. Now there is a difference. The question rises that earlier we have learned about drop command. Drop command also is also used for deletion. Now delete command is also used for deletion. So where is the difference between drop command and delete command? The difference is delete command is used to delete all the records from the table, whereas drop command is used to delete the table structure, the entire table records and structure from the database. This is the difference between delete and drop. Next one is data control language. Data control language can also be called as DCL. DCL is used for granting and revoking user access. It is used for granting and revoking user access. So we can say that it has two purposes: to grant access to user. That is called grant. It means database administrator gives the user, or it grants the access to the user. For example, whenever we are viewing or we are making any railway reservation, we always look for the details of the train which are running on that route, how many number of days the train is running, what is the timing. So the database administrator who has prepared that database is granting the user or granting the customer the right to view the database, the right to view their database. However, the database cannot be changed. That means no changes can be made in database. Why no changes can be made in the database? Because the database administrator has not given permission or has not granted the edit permission to the user. Similarly, there is another command. The another command is to revoke access from user. To revoke access from user, that means you are revoking the permission of viewing or revoking the permission of editing the database. The revoke can be done with the help of revoke command. So there are two commands. One is grant command, another is revoke command that comes under data control language. In practical data definition language, data manipulation language and data control language are not separate languages, rather they are the part of a single database language such as SQL. Because in SQL we can create table, we can select records from the table, and also the database administrator termed as DBA can have the rights to grant access to a particular table or revokes access from database for a particular user. Now, the next one is transaction control language. What is transaction control language? TCL. This is transaction control language. The changes in the database that we made using DML commands are either performed or not performed using transaction control language. When at the same time, say 10 or 15 SQL statements or a group of SQL statements are executed at the same time or are executed together, they are termed as transaction. So there is a language which is termed as transaction control language. To persist means save. To persist the changes made by DML commands in database. That command is also called as commit command. This command is written when the user wants to save the records in the table. In case of Word application or Excel application, there is a button called save, or there is an option known as save. In SQL, that option we termed this as data control language and is called commit. Commit makes the changes in the database and saves those changes in the database. Now the question arises, suppose we have inserted incorrect data in the database. In Word application, in Excel, in MS Office application, there is a button called undo button, which lets the user to retain the old file state. That means what is being done can be undone with the help of undo command. Similar to undo command, in DBMS, it is called rollback. To roll back the change made to the database. So if there are changes in the database that needs to be undone, that can be performed with the help of rollback command. So these are basically 4 types of language. DML, we start with DDL, then DML, and then DCL, and the next one is transaction control language. So this was the concept of the types of languages. That's all for today. I am unmuting you. I know there must be several questions, but the time is less, so I don't know how many of you have understood. I don't know that. What we can do, we can always discuss it in the next class also. Since the topic is broad, so what we will do, we will discuss it in the next class. Is it okay? পরের দিন ডিসকাস করলে ভালো হয় না?
আপনি যেটা, হ্যাঁ ম্যাম ঠিক আছে, বাট আপনি যেটা আজকে মানে এই টপিকটা মানে বললেন যে টপিক গুলো এভাবে ডিলিট ড্রপ রোল ব্যাক করে, সেই এইটা শেয়ার করে দেবেন একটুখানি, তাহলে আমরা এই টপিক গুলো দেখে রাখবো
শেয়ার করে দেবো, ওই পেজটা শেয়ার করে দেবো বলছো?
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ, এই ওয়ার্ড ফাইলটা শেয়ার করে দিন তাহলে হয়ে যাবে।
বেশ বেশ, আচ্ছা তার আমি একটু চটপট একটু অ্যাটেন্ডেন্স নিই। অনিন্দিতা সরকার ফটাফট বলবে। অনিন্দিতা সরকার, উৎসব রয়, সৌভিক দাস, সায়ন্তন ব্যানার্জি, দেবপ্রিয়া কর্ম, সায়ন্তন প্রেজেন্ট। আচ্ছা যারা, যদি এটা মিটিংটা এন্ড হয়ে যায় না, যারা যারা অ্যাটেন্ডেন্স দাও আমি চট করে আবার জয়েন করে যাও তো। দেবপ্রিয়া কর্মকার, সায়ক বাসু,
ইয়েস ম্যাম, ইয়েস ম্যাম,
ওকে। দেবলীনা কুন্ডু,
প্রেজেন্ট ম্যাম।
আচ্ছা। প্রিয়ঙ্কা মালাকার,
ইয়েস ম্যাম।
সুদীপা ভৌমিক, অলিভিয়া মন্ডল,
ইয়েস ম্যাম।
প্রিয়াশা চক্রবর্তী,
প্রেজেন্ট ম্যাম।
সৌভিক পাল, পিয়াল, ওকে সৌভিক আছো, পিয়াল নেই, বি দীপিকা,
প্রেজেন্ট ম্যাম।
শুভরূপ সরকার, সুজাতা শ,
প্রেজেন্ট ম্যাম।
अभय आनंद, दिलाम अभय आनंद,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
अबू फैजल, अभिनंदन, ओके, अभिनंदन बोस,
Present, ma'am.
ब्रोतती,
প্রেজেন্ট ম্যাম।
अमृता, देवाशीष, शाश्वती,
ইয়েস ম্যাম। প্রেজেন্ট।
महबूब आलम,
প্রেজেন্ট ম্যাম,
प्रियंगना रॉय,
প্রেজেন্ট ম্যাম।
अवीक,
Present, ma'am. Present, ma'am.
बंदिता,
প্রেজেন্ট ম্যাম।
शायक,
ইয়েস ম্যাম,
शोभिक,
ইয়েস ম্যাম,
देवज्योति,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
ओके, सोहिनी, রাকেশ,
ইয়েস ম্যাম,
যারা যদি ডিসকানেক্ট হয় অন্যরা জয়েন করো যারা অ্যাটেন্ডেন্স দাওনি। সুমন,
Yes, ma'am.
আয়েল, বিমান, ঈশিতা, রোহান দে সরকার,
ইয়েস ম্যাম, রোহন দে সরকার।
সংযুক্তা সিনহা, জয় কিষণ শর্মা,
ইয়েস ম্যাম। সংযুক্তা সিং।
সংযুক্তা আছো, ঠিক আছে। জয় কিষণ নেই। মৌমিতা,
প্রেজেন্ট ম্যাম।
শুভজিৎ,
Yes, ma'am.